I think I've talked about this before, but you hear YouTubers or people on the internet talking about being successful, and a lot of it is um, do all this, fucking work your ass off, just work your ass off, work your ass off. Um, Basically, so you can gain material possessions. And for people, and for somebody like me, I've had the family. I've traveled around. I mean, I haven't traveled the world, but I've traveled around a lot of different places in America. Um, I've written 2 books. I've wrote multiple albums. I made a bunch of videos. I pretty much accomplished a lot of the things I've wanted to accomplish. I mean, the only thing left for me to accomplish would be like to make a name for myself, but I just don't think that's gonna happen. Or at this point for the rest of my life is just hedonism and gaining material possessions, and that shit doesn't really motivate me. Material things just like, for me, I want to get on my debt. That's a motivator. But at this point in my life, as long as I'm working, I'm paying my debt down. I wanted to. I'm not. So for me personally, I can get out of all my debt except for my car payment, my car note. When it comes to credit card debt, but I won't have any assets. So I want to be able to get my debt far down and be able to keep my assets. But I don't, at this point in my life, like, I would be farther along if I didn't move around, and when it comes to money and material things, if I didn't move around and me raising my kids on my own, that has put me in a place where I'm not moving at all. That's how I felt for the longest time. So it's like, there's not really anything left that I really care about accomplishing left. You know what I mean? The only thing I can really do at this point is, I guess, help others. But there's not really much I kind of like don't like people, the average person, but I hate them, but I love them at the same time. Like, I care about them, I have empathy for them, but I don't like them how ignorant they are to everything. But I kind of envy them that they are ignorant. Because, like, I'm not in the Matrix mentally, and they are. And I think that even though that they're ignorant to a lot of bad things that are going on right now, or possibly personally in their own life, that they're not aware of, like with maybe their marriage or whatever, they don't know different signs of why their marriage isn't so great. And I have a great understanding about women and relationships, and I'm not in one. So it's just like, I kind of envy these people, because I think that they're overall more happy than I am. And I understand happiness isn't like something that you can just sustain. It's up and down type of deal, like a roller coaster. It's a temporary thing. You're not always going to be happy all the fucking time. You could be generally content in your life, but you're not going to be like thrilled and happy nonstop all the time. And the same goes for suffering and pain, you know. These are temporary emotions that will come and go. But I do kind of envy these people. I'm not gonna lie. And you know, it's like I'm not a person with like high IQ. I'm you know what I mean. I'm not the best speaker. I'm not the best at anything. I feel I'm pretty average. I just feel like I have a lot of knowledge and understanding about things, generally speaking. And the thing is, I don't have great detail in one subject because I have so many different subjects I'm interested in. But the thing is, like I was thinking about this, you know, my music distributor, they emailed me the other day, and they were telling me that basically if I stop paying for the service, the yearly subscription, they're gonna take all my music down from Spotify. They'll leave it up on Facebook and TikTok and all that stuff, but they're gonna take it off of Spotify. And it's kind of weird because before they didn't it's not like that they were saying anything like that before, and then all of a sudden they just changed these things, and that got me thinking. It's like, you know, what is it I've always felt like it doesn't matter what I do. Anything good I try to do in my life, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't feel like it means much. You know, me raising my kids on my own, and they're productive members of society. They're good kids. They turned out pretty good. They both graduated, and I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud, and I should be really proud. That's probably like one of the biggest things I should be proud of, and I am. I mean, society doesn't really. That's just kind of like, that doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? All the stuff I've been through, having to provide and then raise them on my own, taking them to doctor's appointments, or getting them ready for school, doing school stuff, doing all that shit on my own as a man. It's not looked at like I did. And I understand. I did what I was supposed to do. That was my job. It's not easy to do on your own. But I don't need no damn kudos. I don't need any like pats on the back or nothing like that. It's just respect. That's all I really wanted in this life, is just respect. And it's like, I started thinking, like, what does it matter if they take everything down? Like, go ahead, take it all fucking down. You know, I'm not going nowhere. I made all that music, but it was for nothing. It's not being viewed that much. It's not being listened to that much. Same with my videos. They're not being viewed that much. So what does it matter if it gets taken down? What does it matter if my whole internet, everything I put on the internet gets taken down? It's kind of like when I buy something in the past, you know, like a game or something, you know, okay, like I bought furniture years ago, maybe like 7 years ago, and it turned to shit. It was good for the time being, and then I got rid of it. Well, I spent a lot of my time to gain capital to be able to buy that. And then now that furniture is gone. And then you can say that about any material thing. So it was good for the time being, but in the grand scheme of things, it's for nothing. And that's what I'm saying about being on this earth. It feels like it's for nothing. And then it's like these YouTubers are like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. But why? What does it fucking matter, dude? What does it matter if somebody is content with their life of just playing video games and you know what, watching porn all day, and they're sustaining themselves, or somebody's taking care of them, whatever. If somebody else is fine doing that, then whatever. If they're fine being fat, you know, playing video games all day, whatever. Like, in 50 years, in 100 years, their life isn't going to mean any whatever they did in their life playing video games is like, oh, you're wasting your time. It's not going to matter compared to like a person who's busting their ass and continuing to suffer, like David Goggins. Like, he's suffering all the time, every single day. He puts it on himself. Yeah, he's got, you know, clout, but his pain and suffering doesn't matter in the future. Because he's gonna die, and then people will forget about him and forget about basically everything he's done. Because that's what happens when you die. I mean, he's on the internet, and a lot of people are gonna remember David Goggins, but you know, we all pass away. And if you're just a regular person, you know, like the people, there was factory workers, and they had their own lives, just like mine back in the day. Whatever they did, whoever they were 100 years ago, is forgotten about. You know, like my grandparents, my great grandparents, I don't know shit about them. And a lot of people were like, dude, those people are forgotten about. Whatever they fucking did doesn't matter anymore. So, you know, if you want to, like, I have no, as long as you take care of yourself and have, you know, if you want to do what you want to do with your life, that's why I don't have a problem with like gay people. I don't have a problem with who are furries or people in the LGBT. I really don't have a problem with these people. The problem is when they try to force their stuff and beliefs down my throat. That's when I have a problem. But I don't have a problem with people living their lives how they want to live them, as long as they ain't hurting anybody else or like being a drag on society, trying to oppress other people, hurting other people. Go do your thing, man. Go do what makes you happy. You know, and people have to understand, a lot of these people on the internet who tell you to go work your ass off all the fucking time, they are workaholics, man. Like, that is a thing. People have nothing else to do. They don't have any type of creative ability. They don't know anything. They can't figure out anything else to do with their spare time. So they dedicate a lot of their time to constantly working, and they could be honestly like running from something too. Like, I think that David Goggins is an amazing person. I really respect that guy, but it makes me wonder if like all this pain and suffering he's putting on himself unnecessarily, unless he's just continuously doing it for clout, if he's doing it to try to run from emotional trauma that he's endured in his life, because he's been through a lot of bullshit in his life, probably way worse than I've ever fucking dealt with. So you know, a lot of these people are trying, it's kind of like a drug addict, you know, people that do drugs or like alcohol or whatever, like they're trying to distract themselves from the suffering, you know. And then that's why I was like, dude, there's more to life than material shit. You know what, I like a lot of it, what Andrew Tate says, but the materialism, I just like when people like are bragging about shit, talking about you're a fucking brokey, like, dude, You know, I get it. Like, I'm like, pretty much, I'm really like disgusted in women nowadays. I really am, because they're so materialistic. You know, they're so hedonistic and materialistic that most of them I'm just not attracted to. You know, they put on all this makeup and all this bullshit, and they're not even real people. Like, you don't even know what they, a lot of these women don't even know what they really look like, because they got all this fucking makeup on. But it's because they're so insecure. I don't like that. You know, like I said before, my ex fiance, like, I was adored with her, right? And when she didn't have any makeup on and get herself all done, I thought that was the most beautiful that I've seen her, because she didn't have this persona on. She seemed more down to earth and like a real person. You know, these women that get all done up, I don't like their attitudes, and I could tell there's a ton of attitude. I just don't want to deal with that, and you know, so I got to work all these hours, and then they're like, oh, women should be a byproduct of your hard work, like they should. I guarantee you, like, if there was no women, these dudes will not be working like they're working. Or if they are, it's like I said, it's to compensate for emotional trauma. The average person is not going to spend their whole life just, man, okay, I'm going to get up. I'm going to fucking get up at 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna go and write in my journal and fucking do this breath work and then do all this shit, and like, cool, man. Like, go work out and then do this and then do that and then fucking read 10 books. It's like, cool, man. Good for you. That's what you like to do. But most people, like I'm creative, so I have to be careful with my energy. If I'm working too much, like right now, I am working a lot because I'm trying to get my body better. So right at this stage of my life, I'm working hard, and I want my money to be better. So at this stage of my life, I don't have a lot of creativity, but I did have a lot of creativity, and I know I can bring it back. I just don't have the energy right now to really be creative. Well, if you're just like constantly working all the time, working, this goes for me. I mean, you know, other people might be different. I think you'll lose your creativity. But I said not everybody's the same. Somebody can work like 100 hours a week and then they can still be creative. I don't know. But for me, I'm you know, I'm not the most creative person, but I have some creative ability, obviously. If I can make melodies, songwrite, you know, just like come up with different ideas. So I do think outside the box. But a lot of these guys have good advice, and I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't fucking matter. It's like, it's not gonna fucking matter in 100 years. It's not gonna fucking matter what you do. And if you don't want to have kids, you don't want to have kids. Like, these women, they just want to work and they want to be independent. Fucking let them. Who cares? They don't want to have kids, and then whatever. You know, they might be miserable the last 40 years of their life, and whatever, man. That's their life. They had fun in the first, right? You know, it's like, you know, we have to have, as long as people are responsible and they're taking care of themselves, I don't care. And society is, we are fortunate, and we take this for granted to be able to, man, you know, back in the day, people, people had to work like sun up to sundown to be able to survive, to be able to grow crops or farm or whatever they had to do. Most people had to live like that. We don't have to live like that no more. And I think that the philosophers who were highly intelligent in their time, and they would be highly intelligent if they lived now, I think these people were people of luxury, to be able to have time to think about shit, to have time to sit there and be like, that makes sense, instead of sitting in the plowing all day in the field. They had time to think about stuff, write stuff down, get more educated in things, get more knowledge. And we're living in that big time right now where a lot of people, if you're a person, it's hard when you're a young person to start out. It is overwhelming. But as long as you have a job and you got money coming in some way to be able to pay your bills, it really doesn't take a lot of money to survive, like people are saying. It does for I'm just saying for an individual. And you definitely can't be in certain parts of the country, definitely leftist crap holes, where they tax the shit out of you and the property is just so outrageously expensive. But if you go and live in different parts of the country, you know what I mean, it's like, and it's just you, it doesn't really take a lot of money, as long as you don't spend money on stupid shit to sustain yourself. And then you can pretty much just do whatever you want with your time. I mean, you're not going to be able to go around and travel the world or nothing or whatever, but you know, I see value in money. There is value in you know, having money to be able to, it's power to be able to travel or manipulate things to go in your direction, like the government does. But and politicians and corporations, but like that just doesn't drive me, and it's not gonna drive everybody, you know. And like I said, man, a normal person now compared to somebody who is like one of these YouTubers who's like, oh, work your ass off, blah 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 blah, it's not gonna matter in 50 years and 100 years. Nobody's gonna give a fuck about anything they fucking did, whether they were out there fucking hiking Mount Everest or playing a fucking video game hiking Mount Everest. Like, nobody's gonna give a shit. Nobody's gonna give a shit about that. Or they'll be dead. So it's just like whatever we do. For most of us, like 99% of us, we're not gonna be remembered, and it's not gonna even fucking matter as time goes on, because we're all fucking gonna be replaced. We will be forgotten about, and we all die anyway. There's only a few handful of people that get remembered in time, and that's it. And most all of us aren't. So it's like, you might as well just find things that you enjoy and try to enjoy your life as much as you can, you know, and not worry. Like, you know, it's like I get into this thing where I start like worrying, and you kind of get like black pilled and whatever. It's like, dude, there's a lot of shit I can't even control, man. Like, I can't control if there's gonna be World War III. I can't control if like the dollar collapses and we go to Mad Max. Like, I can try to prepare for something like that, but I can't do nothing. Like, I can't control that. It's good to know what's going on in the world so I can try to navigate the best way I possibly can. But in the grand scheme of things, like, there's so many things I don't have control of. And, you know, at the end of the day, everything I'm doing now at some point is going to be meaningless. So it's just like, I don't know, man. Just hey, if you want to torture yourself and you know, gain a bunch of money, then go ahead. That's cool. You know what I mean? It's like, if that's what you enjoy to do. Because like I said, whatever we're doing, at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. I just try to be a good person in case we have an afterlife. And if I have to come back here, hopefully it's not as, hopefully I have a better life next time around, or whatever life after this, I don't want it. I want it to be better than this. And like I said, I have it better than most people on this planet. So it's kind of hard for me to sit here and complain, but it doesn't mean I don't go through shit. It doesn't mean like you see a person that seems like they have an awesome life. It doesn't mean that they don't have suffering and pain. So we all suffer, man, in some type of way. And you know, I just maybe when I die, that's it. Like, and who knows, man? But I don't know.